I absolutely love food. It's one of the main things that keeps us alive and well, keeping the empty void of our stomach full each and every day. Moreover, relatively any culture that has parties to either celebrate milestones or just to bring the family together for the holidays, it most likely has some kind of food involved to satiate the hungry guests. Stuff your face until you're full and want to take a nap. However, in terms of food and feasting, it seems like this tradition of hosting parties of today's society has been watered down in some aspects in comparison to ancient history, while others remain relatively similar. I would like to focus especially on ancient Greece for this. The Odyssey by Homer, a classic example of Greek literature. There is a Homeric value called xenia that deals with the hospitality of strangers, especially in the guest-host relationship. The first relative display of xenia can be seen through Telemachus when he invites Athena into his home. Homer's use of Telemachus's feelings is shown greatly through his actions and words, with his hastiness to not leave a guest standing at the doors. Homer's saying that Telemachus spoke to Athena with winged words on page 81 gives major implications of his swiftness to bring Athena inside. Telemachus says in this situation, "Greetings, stranger. Here in our house you'll find a royal welcome. Have supper first and tell us what you need." The most a person would usually say as far as an offer would be, "Can I get you something to drink?" Not an entire supper. On top of this, Telemachus is willing to feed stranger Athena and then offer her any assistance beneficial to her, which is extremely rare to see in our society today due to hesitancy with strangers. Athena could have been someone who had lots of intent to kill everyone in the halls, and Telemachus just let her right in and treated her as a friend. Although this book is only fiction, it does serve as a display of the culture of hospitality and treatment of strangers back in ancient Greece. With all this talk of food, why would you just eat some delicious food and not have something to drink? There's a great emphasis placed on wine in ancient Greece's culture, where a kind of ritual would take place involving it. This ritual is known as a symposium from the Greek word sybanim, meaning to drink together, where male guests would gather after a banquet and drink wine for pleasure while music, conversation, recitations of poems, and dancing goes on. What would sit in the center of the room would be these vases known as craters, which were used to mix water and wine, with decorations of figures, battles, or events on them. The reason why water and wine was mixed together in the crater is because it was seen as vulgar to just drink pure wine, but also a gift from Dionysus, a god of transference, which Greeks felt it needed to be treated with care as alcohol can impair the state of mind and judgment. The wine would be poured into the crater using an amphora, a large storage vessel, and then water would be poured into the crater using a hydria, a water jug. The diluted wine inside would then be ladled out to the guests' cups, kylix being the most common cup, which ranges in size. Now look at this crater. It depicts a symposium with four men reclining on couches, one of them singing while playing a lyre, which is like a mini harp, while a woman stands in the center of the crater. Something strange that can be seen is the way one of the men is holding his kylix. Well, he just finished his turn in a game called Kotobos, in which guests would take turns flinging dregs, leftover liquid along with sediments or ground with it, at a target, usually in their cup, for prizes such as eggs, pastries, or sexual favors. An interesting part is that men would usually utter the name of their beloved before making their shot, which it was believed that hitting the target would bode well for his love life. However, sometimes at parties and general functions, one may eat or drink a bit too much and end up becoming ill. As a host, one wouldn't want other guests to get sick, so they may have them go to a separate area until the function ends, or delegate someone, usually a family member or friend, to take them home. In ancient Greece, this is no different. This specific kylix depicts young men staggering away as well as a person on the very right vomiting. They are being accompanied by dancing women known as hetairae, as well as musicians to what we could assume to be a different area to rest after heavy consumption of wine. In this way, this kind of hospitality changes from one of pleasure to one of well-being, where guests and or entertainers sympathize and show concern for those who are now suffering at the function. Although some people may find history boring, I feel that food and feasting can help us appreciate the history more, and ancient Greece is no different.